I have never edited my work, and I'm really excited that the only parts of my books that I need to edit just don't belong in them. But what's really, really enlightening is the process of growth that has happened just because I decided to get it out. And so for anyone who purchased a copy of Overcrowded Loneliness, just know you're one of few to ever know my feelings, thoughts, and experiences up until the age of 25. And anyone who has unedited prose has access to the growth that I experienced between 25 and 30. Really 20 and 32. But Empty Me took me less than 2 hours to write. It's literally 35 pages. It's the shortest book you'll ever read with substance. That's not a book in the Bible. Noted. But a lot of times we don't necessarily compartmentalize thoughts, feelings, and experiences to a place that's most fit. So we end up having moments of Tourette's where we just project in areas where we should whisper. Like when you tell someone your secrets, your fears, and inhibitions, they're never supposed to shout them aloud, let alone hover over your head with remembrance or reminders. We are all to be made to feel safe in such places where we would bestow such truths of our own vulnerability to be so transparent. Because in all honesty, I do think it's necessary to be authentic. What point is there to stand in front of crowds of people allowing them to see me if I don't allow them to see me? Everybody's not supposed to watch the process, right? Like, everybody's just not equipped with the wherewithal to handle the entirety of the process as you gain experience through whatever you are progressing through. And a lot of times people feel so slighted because from their perspective, they've been abandoned, they've been unsupported, they've been unloved. But in retrospect, or just a different view, people love, respect, and do within the capacity they're aware of. Like if all I've ever known was thumb to mouth, thumb to mouth, thumb to mouth, how would I ever know that it could be communication for good and bad? Right? You know, these same tools that we use to do great things, some do horrible things. And people who do horrible things with their tools, they leave contusions that scar cream can't cure. And to be so bruised in the mind that you can't seem to find peace in the gifts before you, it makes for a really tough journey. I said something once that was so heard it was quoted. If you can see it, you're my partner. If you can't see it, you're my pupil. I love either way. Neither has less, neither stays the same. But me, I'm just praying to God to get the guidance and the clear path with the tools that I can use to complete the task at hand of conveying a message that all can understand without a lack of clarity. Seeking such perfection is absolutely insane to me. But seeking His divinity, allowing me to master brevity because he gives me the words to speak, allows me to document them in manners that are able to be received, makes it so much easier to complete my task. But when I'm in a place of I don't know, or I'm in a state of I'm not sure, I completely become uneasy. So scrambled, I mean, it's just poached how I go, so focused I find myself. But see, the words, they just still come so quickly, but I'm able at times to let them sift slowly. And then I think about the things I've written over time that have stayed in my mind past the words I would write, like how it became a ritual. I would sit in my favorite chair, place my fingers on the right keys, let my lyrics flow. At times, my fingers moved up and down, side to side so swiftly I forgot they were mine. And those were the moments I could release my inhibitions and never worry about the intentions of those with poor intention. You know, because it's like, counted steps preceded by hesitation led to mental constipation, forcing the realization of disappointment. My expectations weren't met. I grew impatient because you hadn't arrived yet. It was like being subjected to my future. Initially exciting, it devastated me, having to witness the seconds slowly passing. In the meantime, eye contact with you led me on fast-forwarded adventures to hospital rooms, elementary schools, games, plays, and graduations. I just could not fathom how I would make it to my destination. It wasn't that I was in denial of his gifts to me. I simply failed to realize as I prayed for you, he was listening. I reckon doubt set in. I couldn't allow myself to depend on desires of my heart. It was too good to be true. Just as quick as I asked, he sent me you. Each step, 3 forward, 10 back. Those to the side, those so far from my path, each one had purpose, and I honestly have no regrets. Hell, I used to say being loved by me felt too good to go without. So in spite of your fear, less than doubt, I would love you inside and out. Every individual who burned a piece of my heart, every disaster I thought tore my world apart, all made this possible. See, had it not been for those moments, those anomalous adventures, I would never truly know just how far, how deep my love could go. Immeasurable is what I said because it's all that made sense, but reality is, it really is immeasurable. You'll not hate being silent. My thoughts are too loud, and when I'm too noisy, my heart does not sound. All I can hear is this blood rushing through my veins. I remember being warned about growing pains, but nothing prepared me for this. It's a feeling I can't quite articulate past this. If you felt what I feel when I feel you feeling me, feel it when I've never felt, you might have an idea as to what I feel when I say I got feelings for you. You make me ink. I want to run to you till I think about the time I take for granted. So I resort to staring. And it's not that my eyes are burning, forcing me to blink. I'm just trying to reach you on levels out of limits. I love you in ways that exceed my limit. Love. Love is the religion I practice. And I laugh at the fools who act like the rules weren't meant to control them, as though high men weren't broken. They have been as sodomized by true lies as rape victims, unwillingly sacrificed to point you a face with the issues of compromising your faith. And I'm sick and tired of having to compromise what I believe in. I know you think I'm afraid. As though my past has me cautious and weary of what to say, like I'm unaware that my path has already been paved. I know you believe it is my inability to admit it, but honestly, what bothers me is the fact that you got to go through things to understand the insufficiency. See, I can never tell you to avoid it. I would never attempt to cause you pain to the point you could not notice, because even when time didn't seem sufficient, I have always needed love to be present. It's not that I'm against relationships. I'm simply against false claims of love's presence in people's. If you ever tell me you're in love, I will only hope you stay there. Because if you leave, if you dare lose focus, you will forever live in a realm of hopeless romantic searching for passion. And that, my dear, is what's so tragic. Not love or admitting such, but the moment you realize it isn't enough. See, counted steps. There's no measurable, it has not been experienced yet. Now, everybody who has only gotten to the end of this path can tell you what it was like to tread it, to dread it, to be afraid, to be in pain, to be just amazed at the ability to love anyway. But we can't always ask the pioneer who took the first step on the clear path that didn't exist. We can't always ask what it was like before the souls were put in shoes. We can't always ask what it was like the first time you let someone in. We can't always ask what it was like, but we can experience it for the first time. And if you would allow yourself to go that deep, you will never drown in kiddie pools with circumstances of people who are so stuck on the ways of the way they were told to be, as opposed to freely being. Some people have to categorize you, and it feels as though the instant they stop flowing with you, but they start going through the process of trying to find you somewhere else, you realize they can't see it. So you leave your lesson. Your pain will lessen. And the lesson of it all was to pass the message. I don't know about the God you believe in, but the Lord I serve is never to be questioned. You accept it when life seems hectic. You are simply being tested. Obstacles will appear mountainous when you stand before them. They are minuscule molehills when you overcome them. Patience is a virtue you must seek daily. In addition, it is your mission to attain it. For those who didn't catch that, I'll explain it. If I had 3 minutes, the whole world would listen. I would teach them about my religion, how with it all things are possible. I would snicker at this clever use of a synonym to avoid a colossal insult. I have never found a difference in our walks. I refuse to support the opinions of minions who have conjured empires sustained by greed, trying to fit in the glimpse of naive imaginations. All you need is faith the size of a mustard seed. No amount of doubt would intervene. Yo, I worry your perceptions have been deceived by more or less moralist tales. The points you would fail to prevail, limitations set by doubt, sustained by fear, false evidence appearing real. When I tell you, I have literally seen fear. I have been shown things, nouns to fear. I have experienced false evidence appearing real to my naked eye. I have witnessed people give power to the projection of trajectory changing situations, and I have watched people accept what they believed they saw, when in reality your perception is only based on the skewed view you have, and it's not until you enlighten yourself with vantage points to get it. And when you can see people, when you can see they get it, everything that is human in you wants to experience everything that is human about them. And sometimes you're left with disappointment. Not because it didn't go the way you thought, but that it didn't keep going. Maybe I am sad about it. Maybe I've been too busy trying to keep this smile plastered on my face like everything's okay. I didn't even notice I wasn't. Maybe everything I never knew I always needed was in you, and I never thought I couldn't have it just because I said it. And the reality of knowing just because I knew it didn't mean I'd ever get it had me so caught up in my feelings, I found myself lost in them to the point all I could do was bask in the essence of the ability to feel still I love you. And there's absolutely nothing you can do about it.